By the end of this video, you'll be able to make beautiful animated reels in Canva that you can use for your church's social media. In this video, I'm going to teach you a simple technique that can be applied to all sorts of designs. So let's learn the technique by creating a really simple reel first. So you're going to create new and go for presentation mobile. Now Canva recently updated their video editor, but for this technique I find it slightly simpler to use a presentation, but you can achieve the same effect with the video editor as well. Go to Elements and find a photo that you'd like to use as your background, then resize it to fit the design. Next, we're going to go to Edit because I want to put white text over the top of this image. So I'm going to click Adjust and bring the brightness and the highlights down a little bit so that my white text will show up clearly. Next, we'll click Text and add a text box, and then here you'll insert your text. It could be a list item, it might be a Bible verse, and in this example, I'm using the Beatitudes from Matthew chapter 5. I'm then going to change the text color to white and choose a new font. Then duplicate this text box using Ctrl or Command D and add your next text item. And then you're going to repeat this for all of your text, making sure that you space them out evenly. It doesn't matter how many text boxes you have, this technique will work with any number of objects. Then what you need to do, and this is a really important step, is highlight all of the text boxes and group them using Ctrl or Command G. And while this object is grouped, you can then select individual objects within the group and adjust the transparency of these different text boxes. So go ahead and set the transparency to whatever you want the animation to begin on. For this design, I want my first text box to be at 100% and the others to be at 20%, but it might be that you want them to be at 0% so that they're not visible. And then we'll position the group so that the first element is in the middle of the design. Next, select the slide at the bottom and duplicate this with Ctrl or Command D and reposition the group so that the next element is in the center and adjust the transparency of the text boxes. So I'm going to make the top one now 20% and the second one 100%. Then again, select the slide at the bottom, duplicate it with Ctrl or Command D, reposition the group and adjust the transparency of the text boxes. And you're going to repeat this for each object in your group. So once you've done that and you've got a slide for each of your objects, select all of the slides by holding Shift. And then if you hover your cursor in between two slides, you'll see a button appear that says Add a Transition. If you click this, then add the Match and Move transition between each slide, and that should apply to all of your slides if you've got them all selected. And then for the last step, you can edit the duration of each slide, so you can choose how long each slide is on screen for by selecting all of the slides and clicking the clock icon to edit the timing. So that's a really useful, simple animation technique in Canva that can be applied in all sorts of ways to create really varied designs. In this example, using exactly the same technique, the text is laid out slightly differently. It's got Bible verses around the outside surrounding a central title. I can then group all of these text boxes together and set the transparency of the verses to 0. And then as we did before, we can duplicate the slide and reveal each verse one by one by adjusting the transparency and changing the position of the overall group, and then creating a new slide for each verse. Or in this example, there's a combination of text boxes and arrow elements. So this technique doesn't just work with text, you can also use it for photos and other graphic elements. And I can group all of these elements together and then reveal the annotated elements one by one by changing the transparency and the position of the group each time. And this is a reel that could work really nicely with a voiceover or a sermon clip. And if you're someone who regularly designs for your church, I'd love to let you know about my website, which is greaterworth.co.uk. It has countless resources for church staff and volunteers to help you create beautiful graphics. From a self-paced church graphic design course to templates and asset packs and articles, there's everything you need to help you grow your graphic design skills, and all of it is specifically created for a church context. If you'd like 3 more animated reel tutorials for Canva, then do check out this video next. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.